She woke in the dark, though she couldn't recall falling asleep. The room around her was quiet, not with the peaceful stillness of rest, but with the kind of silence that feels held, contained, as if something else was listening as she breathed. A thin line of pale light slipped through the curtains, enough to shape the edges of the ceiling above her. Nothing was different, and yet everything felt wrong. She knew this feeling. She had been here before. She tried to shift her weight, to adjust the position of her arm or tilt her head, and her body did not respond. Not a flinch, not a tremor. It wasn't pain, it wasn't numbness. It was as if her body were a separate thing, lying there without her. Her mind was awake, present, aware, but she could not reach the muscles that should belong to her. She felt the breath in her lungs move, shallow and controlled, a slow rise and fall like she was being breathed for. The air felt heavier than it should, not like the room was full, but like it was being held down, weighted, as if the darkness itself had settled on her chest. And she knew before she understood that she was not alone in the room. The presence wasn't loud. It didn't announce itself. It simply existed, as certain and undeniable as her own heartbeat. She could feel it above her, close enough to sense rather than see, watching her, studying her, as though she had woken into its gaze. She tried to scream the first time this happened, years ago. She remembered the panic, the instinctual fight of a trapped animal, clawing for sound. Her throat had refused. The silence that filled her instead was deeper than fear. It felt ancient, familiar, like her body remembered how to be quiet even when her mind did not. Tonight she didn't try to scream. The fear was still there, yes, but it had changed. It had matured into recognition. The presence was not new, it was remembered. The ceiling above her seemed farther away than it should, like she was sinking into the bed. The shadows in the corners of the room didn't shift, yet she felt them crowd closer. She did not blink. Her eyes felt held open, not forced, just incapable of closing. Her heartbeat moved slowly now, steady, as though matching something else's rhythm. The presence hovered just above her face. She couldn't see it, but she could feel the air moving differently, like another breath had entered the room and was aligning with hers. There was no shape, not at first, only density, weight, a sense of attention so focused it felt like touch. And then, as her eyes adjusted to the dark, the shadow above her deepened, the way a figure forms when someone steps closer to a campfire, not defined, but undeniable. The darkness had contour, intention, patience. She had tried to rationalize this once. Sleep cycles, neurological misfires, dreams half-remembered. But the presence did not care about explanations. It did not retreat when morning came. It did not vanish from her mind. It followed her across years and rooms and homes. Different pillows, different lives, the same moment, the same awakening, the same silence. One night something changed, not in the room, in her memory. She remembered another place, a room without walls, a space without sound, a place that was not this bed, not this life, but where she had felt the same presence leaning close to her. She remembered the weight hovering over her face, the stillness, the recognition, as if she had known this presence before she ever had a name, before this body, before this world. The memory unsettled her, not because it was frightening, but because it felt true. Tonight, the mattress shifted, slowly, carefully, as though something had placed its weight on the edge of the bed and began to lower itself beside her. Not quickly, not aggressively, but with the certainty of something that believed it belonged there. The sheets tightened, drawing closer around her legs. A warmth moved beside her hip. The presence was not just above her anymore. It was next to her. She could not turn her head to see it, but she did not need to. The awareness between them was absolute. The presence was not waiting. It was remembering, and it was waiting for her to remember too. Her breath trembled, just once, the only part of her body she still owned. The presence leaned closer. Her paralysis eased slowly from her fingertips upward, a distant tingling like returning blood flow, but she did not move. She didn't open her mouth to scream. She didn't try to break free, because breaking free would mean pretending she didn't understand. And she did now. The presence had not come to her. She had returned to it. Her waking life, the daylight hours, felt small now, thin and less real. The room around her was not the prison. The paralysis was not the trap. The presence was not the intruder. The day was the dream she forgot when she slept. The night was the memory. The paralysis lifted, her jaw loosened, her hands twitched, her chest expanded fully again. She could move, she could sit up, she could run, she could scream. She didn't. The presence did not leave. It faded, the way a thought fades, not gone, just quieter. She blinked slowly. The room looked ordinary once more. The ceiling was just a ceiling. The shadows were only shadows, but the air still remembered, and so did she. This will happen again. Not because something is wrong, but because something is waiting. And tonight, when her body goes still again, she will not be afraid, because she no longer believes this is where the dream ends. She believes this is where it begins. You're not alone. Follow. More stories are waiting for you here.